In this video, I'm going to share with you the principles and strategies that I've used in order to make my first $1 million online, become a multimillionaire, and achieve financial freedom. Now, I don't have a rags to riches story like some of the other entrepreneurs on YouTube. I was never homeless or living on the streets, but I will say that I was severely handicapped from a mindset perspective because of the way that I grew up. Now, when I was a child, I was born into a traditional Asian American household, and I was taught at a very young age that if you studied hard in school, got straight A's, got into good college, and worked a regular job, that you would be set for the rest of your life. And I followed that path religiously. I studied hard in school, got into Stanford University, where I studied electrical engineering and got a job as a microprocessor designer, a job that I held for 17 years. Now, the problem when you're brought up this way is that you are basically raised to believe that there's only one correct path in life, and that's to get a job. And looking back, I loved my college years because I had infinite freedom. I had all the time in the world, and I could spend it however I wanted to. If I wanted to play golf in the middle of the day, I could. If I wanted to sleep until noon, I could. But I also remember when senior year rolled around and I had to interview for jobs, I dreaded the thought of having to spend 40 hours a week in an office for the rest of my life. Now, thankfully, you don't have to spend a third of your life in an office, and I'm going to show you how in this video. So the first step on the path to becoming a millionaire is to actually believe that it can be done. And here's what you must realize. Your day job will never ever make you life-changing money. A day job will allow you to make just enough to pay the bills and maybe go on a yearly vacation or two, but that's it. The only way to make enough money to change your life is to start a business or a side hustle. Otherwise, you'll just be another employee whose earning potential is capped by the number of hours in a day. Now, most of you don't know this, but I actually wanted to start an online store for a very long time, but I didn't believe that I had the knowledge to make it happen. Back in the day, I knew nothing about websites. I knew nothing about finding suppliers, and I knew nothing about how to generate traffic and sales. But then one day, I had lunch with one of my friends, and he casually showed me his website where he started selling his photography prints online. And when I asked him how he did it, he surprised me by saying he threw up his site in a weekend by using free open source software, and I was flabbergasted. Remember, I got started in e-commerce back in 2007 before Shopify, BigCommerce, and even Amazon. Back then, you had to code everything up yourself. Anyway, the fact that I saw my friend put up an online store gave me the confidence that I could do it myself. So what's the lesson here? If you don't believe in your own abilities, then follow someone who has done it all before. Today, this is easier than ever, and you can find influencers on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. There are people everywhere who've accomplished what you want to do. And I promise you, none of this business stuff is rocket science. My day job as an electrical engineer was way more complicated. Now, the second step on your path to becoming a millionaire is to find the right friend group, and here's why. My first $1 million business was an online store that sold handkerchiefs online. That's right, handkerchiefs. On the surface, it sounded like a dumb idea, and all my friends thought I was an idiot. Heck, even my mom thought it was a bad idea to sell handkerchiefs online. But this business now brings in 7 figures per year. Go check it out at bumblebeelinens.com if you don't believe me. Now, it took me about 6 years to hit the $1 million mark, and if 6 years sounds like a long time to you, it's because I was hanging around with the wrong people. During the early years, my friends would come up to me and say, "Hey, what's up, Steve? How's the hanky business?" in a very derogatory tone. And early on, I would lie and I'd say, "Hey, it's doing all right." But deep down, these comments always made me doubt myself. They made me feel stupid for doing what I was doing, and it's hard to become a millionaire when there are doubters all around you. Here's the thing about your friends. They might have good intentions, but they will always have doubts about something that they haven't done and try to talk you out of it. And it's not like these friends of mine were dumb. They were all Stanford, Harvard, and MIT graduates. They just didn't believe that an e-commerce store could make money. So rule number 2 is to ditch all the naysayers. It's hard enough to start a business as is, but it's much harder when other people are filling you with negative thoughts. Basically, you need to find a community of like-minded people. Now for me, I decided to attend conferences in e-commerce. E-commerce Fuel was one of the first events that I ever went to, and I found a supportive tribe that I've kept in touch with over a decade now. In fact, finding your people is so important that I started my own e-commerce conference called the Seller Summit that I've run for the past 8 years. Now, if you all ever want to hang out in person, head on over to sellersummit.com. But remember, to be successful, you must ditch the negative influences and find your tribe. The next step to becoming a millionaire is to have a clear purpose in mind. Simply wanting to make $1 million just isn't good enough. You have to have a why. Now remember, when I said that I hesitated on the sidelines to start my business early on, what I didn't tell you earlier was that I never pulled the trigger because my life was too comfortable. Why rock the boat when I already had a job that was paying the bills? Well, all that comfort went out the window when my wife became pregnant with our first child. And I still remember when my wife showed me the pregnancy test, and I was happy and terrified at the same time. I was scared because my wife told me that she wanted to quit her job in order to stay at home with the kids, which was a decision that I supported 100%. The problem was that we live in Silicon Valley, where you pretty much need 2 incomes in order to buy a decent house in a good school district. And looking back, I probably would have hesitated even longer to start my business unless my wife told me that she was going to quit her job. And if you've ever wondered why this YouTube channel is called My Wife Quit Her Job, well, now you know. If you have a clear goal and purpose for wanting to change your life, it's going to happen. Now for you, maybe it has nothing to do with your wife wanting to quit her job. Maybe you hate your job with a passion and you need to quit. Maybe you want more freedom to do what you love or hang out with the people that you love. Maybe you just need to change. Now whatever it is, find the fuel to give you the motivation to start your first side hustle. Now the next key to becoming a millionaire is persistence. Now people often ask me whether they should create a business plan before they get started, and I always say hell no. I've never ever written a formal business plan in my life, and I can say this with 100% certainty. Things will never go according to plan with your business. Now early on with my handkerchief store, my initial strategy was to guide people over from eBay to my online store. So whenever I made a sale on eBay, I would give out coupons to give significant discounts in my store. But then eBay caught wind of all this and threatened to suspend my account, so I had to stop. Early on, I also had this ingenious idea to drive a bunch of business from the wedding forums to my site. And while this strategy worked to a certain extent, I eventually got banned for being overly promotional. Nothing ever goes as planned, and there's a lot of luck in the process, but you have to still be in business in order to take advantage of that luck. One of the luckiest things that ever happened to us was getting on the NBC Today show. The people over at NBC found our website by luck because we ranked #1 on Google for handkerchiefs, and they wanted some products to feature in their Christmas shopping episode. But this NBC feature didn't happen until we were already 6 years into the business. Had we decided to close up shop before then, we never would have gotten this incredible press opportunity. Similarly, we got really lucky when my brother-in-law got a job at Google in the ads department. And he was able to show us how to get set up and running with Google Ads, and today Google makes up about 20% of our sales. Now looking back, I can't tell you how many good things happened to our business just because we stuck around. You have to be persistent in order to succeed. And as of this recording, we've been selling hankies for over 16 years, and I've been running my blog over at mywifequitterjob.com for 14 years. Longevity matters. If you were going to start a business, make sure you commit to it for at least 3 to 5 years minimum. Now the final and most important rule to becoming a millionaire is to actually take action. Over the years, I've had over 5,000 students in my Create a Profitable Online Store course, and ironically, my most successful students have been the ones who don't do as much analysis and just jump right in. For example, my student Claire decided to sell e-bike kits because she wanted to. She didn't have any money, so she took pre-orders to fund her first inventory order and ended up making 6 figures pretty quickly. Another one of my students decided to sell jewelry online, even though selling jewelry is probably one of the hardest, most saturated products that you can sell. But she made it work because she found a clever way to market her products on social media. In fact, the worst students in my class with the highest probability of not taking action are the engineers. And the problem with engineers is that they want all the answers before they start. They want explanations based on mathematical formulas, but that's not how business works. The only way to know whether your business idea is going to truly work is to get started right away. In fact, you won't feel ready to start a business until 6 months after you've already started your business. Now, if you have to choose, you should always err on the side of action versus analysis, because analysis is only going to get you so far. There are so many variables in business that are impossible to predict ahead of time. Just feel confident that no matter what the obstacle is, that you'll find a way to overcome it. And that, my friends, is how you become a millionaire. I've been doing this for a long time now, and success is more about getting out of your own head than it is a lack of knowledge. Now that you know what it takes mentally to become a millionaire, Watch this video here to learn about all the different side hustles that you can pursue to make money online, and I'll explain all of your options and help you choose the right business model for you.